President Al-Assad congratulates Patriarch Yazeji and praises the sense of patriotism enjoyed by the Orthodox Church and its role in consecrating national unity. And President Al-Assad affirms that Syria will remain the beating heart of Arabism and will not concede its principled stance despite the conspiracies and pressures. Syrian Arab army units eliminate terrorists in the countrysides of Hama and Damascus. And cautious calm prevails in the area surrounding the Egyptian presidential palace as demonstrations at Tahrir Square continue their sit-in against the Muslim Brotherhood. Good afternoon, this is news in English from the Syrian Arab Television in Damascus. President Bashar al-Assad expressed appreciation of the high sense of patriotism of the Orthodox Church and its main role in consolidating national unity against the attacks which aim to tear up the social texture of Syria and the values of coexistence among the Syrian people. During the reception of His Beatitude Patriarch John X Yazeji of Antioch and the whole East, President al-Assad congratulated him on his installment, wishing him success in this post. The President stressed the historical role of the Orthodox Church in spreading the mission of good, love and tolerance in the world in general and in Syria in particular. The Patriarch expressed deep confidence that Syria would emerge victorious from this crisis, stressing the importance of preserving Syrian unity in order to attain this victory. The Patriarch hoped to see security and peace prevailing in Syria to return a country of love and goodwill, asserting that all the Syrians would remain one family. Patriarch John X Yazeji, the Patriarch of Antioch and the whole of the Orient, for the Greek Orthodox, has affirmed that Syria has always been and will continue to remain a country of peace and coexistence thanks to its people's national awareness. He stressed that dialogue is the only way that should be resorted to by all sides in order to attain the aspired peace in the country. In an interview with Russia Today satellite channel, Patriarch Yazeji said, "We want Syria to remain the upholder of right and justice where every Syrian citizen lives in dignity." He added that all Syrian citizens live as one family, Muslims, Christians and other components of the Syrian society. Syria is passing through a temporary ordeal which we hope would be over as soon as possible so that Syria would restore its role as a torch of coexistence and a cradle of civilization. Patriarch Yazeji emphasized the newly appointed Patriarch stressed that Christians in Syria hold on to their soil of their country and will continue to stay therein, affirming that they have no worries in their hearts. The Patriarch expressed full rejection of all forms of violence and killing. President Bashar al-Assad has also met and asserted that Syria would remain the vibrant heart of the Arab world and would never give up its principled stance regardless of any pressures. This was affirmed during President Assad's reception of a Jordanian delegation headed by the Assistant Secretary General of the Arab Bar Association, Mr. Samih Kharis, and comprising a number of political activists, lawyers, doctors and engineers. The meeting discussed the situation in the region, particularly in Syria. The delegation expressed the solidarity of the Jordanian people with the Syrian people in these difficult circumstances. The delegation also asserted that all the honest Arabs would never leave Syria alone in the face of all these plots. Syria defended all the Arabs with blood, and this blood would enable Syria to gain its upcoming victory. The delegation asserted they also emphasized targeting Syria today was not surprising because it has always shouldered the burden of all the Arab causes for decades. They praised Syria's constant defense of the Arab dignity, rights and just causes, particularly the cause of Palestine. President Assad thanked the members of the delegation for their noble national attitude in support of the Syrian people. Following his talks with Algerian President Abdelaziz Bouteflika in Algeria yesterday, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said the two countries, Russia and Algeria, have agreed on the need to settle the situation in both Syria and Mali through political means without any foreign intervention. In a statement to the press, Lavrov added that both countries have also identical viewpoints regarding the need to activate the reform process of the world system in terms of relying on the sovereignty of law and the key role of the UN and the Security Council, as well as resorting to diplomatic means to settle conflicts without intervention in the internal affairs of sovereign states. Lavrov asserted that both countries regard the events in the Middle East and North Africa, including the dramatic developments in Syria and Mali, from this perspective. Syrian Arab Army units today carried out a series of accurate and successful operations during which they eliminated a number of terrorists in Zamalka, Arbin, Douma, Harasta and Adra in Damascus suburbs. An official source told Sana news agency that several terrorists were killed and injured in Arbin and Zamalka, and their hideouts were destroyed, as well as the weapons and ammunition in their possession. Meanwhile, Syrian military units continue their operations in Douma, Harasta and Adra, undermining terrorists' positions. 5 vehicles and several motorcycles which the terrorists used in their operations were destroyed. They also killed and wounded a number of armed men. Inhabitants of Kirnas town in Hama governorate have returned to their homes after the Syrian Arab Army restored security and stability to the area. The people of Kirnas were forced to leave their homes after they had been subject to attacks of the terrorist groups. The Syrian Arab Army had before executed a series of operations to clear the town, and engineering units defused many explosive charges that the terrorists planted there. Following hours of severe confrontations that took place in front of the presidential palace yesterday night between Egyptian security forces and protesters demanding President Morsi to step down, cautious calm prevailed around the palace while protests continued in Tahrir Square against Morsi and the Muslim Brotherhood. Clashes in front of Al-Ittihadiyya Palace had continued for more than 5 hours, during which security forces shot several cartridges and fired tear gas, injuring many protesters and arresting several others. Meanwhile, a number of protesters blocked all the entrances to At-Tahrir compound and staged a sit-in, preventing workers from entering the place for the 3rd consecutive day. Spokesman for Iran's Foreign Ministry Ramin Mahmoudbrest held the International Atomic Energy Agency responsible for hindering a solution to Iran's nuclear file, pointing out that Iran's nuclear file should not be referred to the UN Security Council. Mahmoudbrest emphasized the importance of recognizing Iran's nuclear rights according to the Non-Proliferation Treaty, pointing out that all Iran's nuclear activities are going on under the supervision of the IAEA. Mahmoudbrest said dialogue with the IAEA should be technical and transparent, adding that Iran had greatly cooperated with the agency. On the issue of holding a dialogue between Iran and the US, Mahmoudbrest said if Washington had the will for dialogue with Tehran, it should reveal good faith. Democratic Korea announced that it had successfully conducted a 3rd nuclear test under the ground. Democratic Korea's news agency said Pyongyang successfully detonated a miniaturized nuclear device at a northeastern site. That was it. More details on our website www.syriaonline.sy. Stay with us after the break. We will tell you about new loans from banks in Syria and undergoing agricultural projects, all that and some more in our economic news.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Manager of the Commercial Bank of Syria said that the bank is currently working on accomplishing the operational instructions of the loans for people with low income. Moreover, there is an intention to grant investment loans to all state establishments. The bank will also grant loans ranging between 1 and 300,000 Syrian pounds by the end of this month, after accomplishing the operational instructions. The loans will be given to people with low income. The manager also stressed that new branches will be opened soon in several areas after launching Shahba branch in Sueda. Other new branches in Qneitra and Misyaf are going to be set up, in addition to a branch in the industrial city of Adra. A report issued by the Arab Center for the Study of Arid Zones and Dry Lands in Syria asserted that many agricultural projects are underway, some of which have already been implemented, while others faced obstacles because of the terrorist acts in some governorates such as Deir ez-Zor, Idlib and Daraa. The report said that implementing some projects in the eastern governorates is hardly possible within the current year. The projects also aimed at improving families' living standards by supporting income, especially the livestock and sustainable farming sectors. The report indicated that the center started its work in many projects in 2012 and it should finish in 2014. Brent futures stabilized above $118 per barrel during weak dealings today due to the lunar year holidays in Asia. The Brent for March delivery rose 9 cents per barrel after dropping 77 cents in the last session, whereas the US crude for March delivery fell 12 cents per barrel. European shares slightly changed. The US index futures retreated while Asian shares ascended. Moreover, Japanese shares led Asian stocks up after the Bank of Japan announced that the extra monetary easing can be justified this year. On the other hand, the Nikkei index closed 1.9% higher, supported by the financial companies. Losses of gold worsened as gold registered its lowest level in over 1 month amid weak dealings. However, the low prices didn't attract safe haven-seeking buyers after Democratic Korea announced it had conducted an underground nuclear test. Silver declined $0.07 an ounce, whereas platinum rose and palladium dropped. The yen reduced its losses in Asian trading after falling in the last session, as it was moving inside a narrow range around its lowest levels, while the euro slided ahead of the gross domestic product data for the currency bloc this week. Ladies and gentlemen, this was our economic news for today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.